As Tyrese Halliburton's fame continues to rise, so does his opportunities to speak into microphones, as naturally people want to interview him more. But in doing so, he's giving fans more opportunities to notice something kind of strange while he's talking. And it's the fact that his voice tends to sometimes change mid-sentence.
But for us, I think that for so long after P and those guys left, and Sabonis is a great player and they had other guys, but like, I think for the more casual basketball fan, it wasn't necessarily appealing. You know, like post basketball is not appealing unless it's Jokic or Joel or Shaq, you know what I mean?
That was so egregious and noticeable that Pat McAfee just had to point it out, as it quickly became the elephant in the room.
Like, you have two different voices.
I do. People say that all the time.
Did you hear? I didn't know if it was our microphone.
I never catch it. You know, like I watch podcasts after and I'm like, dang, my voice changed. I don't know.
Mid-sentence.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't do it on purpose.
I wrote it down. Two different voices.
Yeah.
Wrote it down.
It just happened. It just happens that way naturally sometimes. I have no control over it. It just happens.
And we'll continue to point it out every time it happens.
Every team is normally pretty active.
I would probably bet you 30 out of 30 teams are active right now. Yeah, especially right now because free agency starts, what is that, July 1st?
So you just
voice changed. I saw some heads turn and I knew it happened right there.
Very self-aware.
It actually happened multiple times when he made an appearance on JJ Redick's podcast, but either JJ Redick didn't notice it or he just didn't want to say anything.
I understand, you got to win the game. I'm not mad at that. Like, I don't care. I did not care. But some guys on our team took exception to it. They were a little frustrated about it. So like, he comes back in, scores more points. He's talking more. It's okay. It's basketball. So after the games, guys are like, we're not shaking their hands. And it's the NBA, you know.
Then later on that month at this past All-Star game, this happened.
To answer your question, I think as professional athletes, we're human beings at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I think what you put off surface level is different than, we're all humans. We all have emotions and good days and bad days, but.
Following the Pacers' Game 2 victory over the Bucks in the first round this year, Halliburton took a shot towards the Bucks crowd.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be unbelievable. No doubt about that. I mean, we've had regular season crowds better than what we've played in these last two games, so we expect a great crowd.
Which definitely got people talking, but that wasn't the only thing from that post-game interview that went viral.
A lot of people are excited about what's to come, in the series, and just the energy in the city right now with everything that's going on, but especially with us. So, we're excited to go.
While Halliburton might not know why his voice does that, Dr. Michael M. Johns, the director of the University of Southern California's Voice Center, who specializes in voice disorders, might have a possible explanation. Quote, athletes are using their voice a lot, and they're using their voice loudly. They're hollering across the court. There's a huge amount of noise around them, and they've got to be heard over that noise. Basically, he speculated that Halliburton might be compensating for vocal fatigue, and doesn't want to further damage his vocal cords off the court. So he changes his tone sometimes, whether it's subconscious or not. I mean, he might be onto something because people notice something similar going on with Ariana Grande, and her explanation is pretty much the same. She's purposely trying to preserve her singing voice as much as she can.
I mean, that's the only thing I thought. That's how I felt. I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot, and maybe there's some more, but I would like to do a deluxe at some point.
Now it looks like Karl Anthony Towns manipulates his voice on purpose too, but not necessarily to protect his vocal cords. It's believed that he does it deliberately to portray a certain image.
Let me ask you a question. Now, Karl Anthony Towns, he's a friend of the show, but I want to know some of your thoughts on levels of voices that we've been able to see.
Yeah, it varies, man. I done heard him in a couple different tones and pitches. Don't know why he does it. Is he doing that deep voice on purpose?
That's where I'm just like, all right, come on, Kat.
100%.
Talk how you talk.
100%.
Which Jeff Teague thinks that's part of the reason why he doesn't get much respect.
So Kat, for whatever reason, gets a lot of disrespect from players, fans. You played with him. Why is that? Like, why does that keep happening to him?
I don't know, because he's one of the best players in the league. I think it's because he changed his voice in his interviews and stuff. Nah, I mean, for real, bro. I think people think
he make himself an easy target by doing stuff like that.
Yeah, facts, bro.
People believe that he's deepening his voice specifically for post-game interviews.
This is what movies is made of.
This is what movies
is made of. 4 months away, I come back, 2 free throws. Don't worry about it. I got that.
You don't really realize what people are talking about until you hear it for yourself. Then it becomes obvious that he has a completely different voice when he's in a more relaxed setting.
Crazy because after all that, they took him off the court to put him even closer to the locker room. So it was like,
because outside looking in, like we was like, damn, it's total chaos in Minnesota right now. Like,
no, for sure.
It was like Jimmy versus Minnesota.
I understand that there's a difference between our clowning around voice versus a tone we must use in professional settings, but these two voices don't even seem like the same person.
Yeah, we in Minnesota now. Like I said after the media, all right, cool, we got to come back to our house now. I only seen them at their house. Just came here to do my job. This is what I'm supposed to do. Give me a chance. Give me a chance to be great. I want to be great. So just happy.